Hello and welcome. In this video I will show you how to crochet this mini but mighty plastic shape shopping bag. As you can see, it has the same shape as a plastic bag, the handles too, and it's small, but because it's very elastic, it can get big. It's made in cotton and we will use only 2 stitches, the double crochet and 1 chain. And then we will use single crochet to just do the border and to close the handles, the bottom of the bag and the sides. Let's get started. So for this project I'm going to use this mix of bamboo and cotton from StyleCraft. The main body will be done in grey, and then I will use the same yarn in different colors for the stripes. I'll use a 3mm hook, and you're going to need 2 stitch markers. If you want to use an acrylic or cotton that you already have and the size is a little bit thicker than what I'm using here, this is absolutely fine. Your bag might come out a little bit larger and longer, but it's fine as it is a shopping bag, so the larger the better. We will be starting with a chain, working all the double crochet stitches and the spaces into the chain, and then we just do back and forward, back and forward, back and forward until we get to this height, where we will continue then by doing this handle, and then we will touch the yarn here and do the other handle. We are going to start by making a slip knot with the yarn tail on this side. Put it on your hand, hold the end with your fingers, put your index finger under and just twist the yarn. Hold here and remove your finger. You have a loop. Now put this tail behind the loop and just put the hook under this loop. Once you have it on your hook, just hold both tails and pull. If you then pull the shorter tail, the loop will get smaller. If you pull the longer, it will get larger. Pull both tails just to tighten this knot. Don't make the loop way too tight. And we are going to start by making 87 chains. I hold the yarn by putting it over my finger. I go around once. And then I twist my hand, I put the yarn over my full hand and hold here. If this is a bit complicated for you, you can just put your index finger in the middle here and just hold with this finger and this finger, like that. And then you can just do this. Grab the yarn and pull it through the loop, and we have the first chain. Another one, 2, 3. So I'm going back to the way I hold the yarn and hold here. So we made 1, 2, 3, yarn over and pull through, 4, 5, 6. Don't make these chains too tight or it will be difficult to work into them. To count, you just count these little V's that you see here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Move your fingers from down here, up here, and continue. 13, 14, 15, 16, and move up. 17, 18, 19, and continue until you have 87 chains. Move up, 85, 86 and 87. Now we make 4 chains. These 4 chains are just so that we can go up one level to crochet on the top of these chains. After the 87, make 4 chains, so 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now put 2 stitch markers in the last 2 chains. So each chain has 2 loops at the front and 1 loop at the back. All these loops that you see here. So we want the stitch marker to go under the 2 loops at the front. So you go 1 and 2 there. And then we put another stitch marker right under this first chain, just under the 2 loops. Now move the loop back into the stitch marker if you have the same and out, like that. Put the hook back. Now I'm going to work in the back loops, but if you find it difficult, you can just work in the same way. Instead of going into these back loops, you can just go under 1 loop of the chain, like this. Yarn over, pull the yarn through, yarn over again, pull through 2, and then yarn over again and pull through 2 for the double crochet. And then do all the other stitches going under 1 loop. But if you either work in the front loops or in the back here, it's the same. So let's count the 4 chains that we did last. So we have 1, 2, 3 and 4. There are 5, 6 and 7. In that 7th stitch we do the double in the back. Right here we're going to make a double crochet. So go under only that loop and let's do. So yarn over for a double, then in that back loop yarn over, pull through the back loop, and then yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over again and pull through the last 2 loops. And this is our first double with the space, a space and a double. Now we chain 1, we skip 1 chain and we work in the next one. In the same thing if you're working in the back bumps, so skip this one and work in the next loop. Yarn over for a double, just go under the back loop, yarn over, pull up a loop going through only the back loop, and then yarn over again, pull through 2 loops only, yarn over again and pull through the last 2. So again, chain 1, yarn over, skip the next loop and work in the following. Yarn over, pull a loop through the first loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over again and pull through the last 2. Chain 1, yarn over, skip 1 stitch and work in the following. chain 1, yarn over, skip 1 chain, work in the next one. Chain 1, yarn over, skip 1, work in the next. Chain 1, yarn over, skip 1 chain, and work in the following. And remember, you can just work into the front, maybe it's even easier for some. You do the same, chain 1, skip 1 chain, and work in the following. So skip 1, work in the following, just like that. Sorry, forgot to yarn over. So for example there, yarn over, pull up the loop, and then pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then again chain 1, skip the next chain, and work in the next. When you are unsure if you have worked into this chain already or not, because you might see a hole and think, oh, I'll put a stitch there. If you hold here and pull, you can see that this stitch is attached to this loop. So we do not work into this space, but we skip 1 and we work in the next. So chain 1, skip 1 and do 1 double. Chain 1, skip 1 and do 1 double. So continue like this, and I'll meet you back almost at the end. So I'm almost at the end here. I'm gonna do the last few double crochet, skip 1 and work in the next. And we have the last one now, so chain 1, yarn over, skip 1 stitch and work in the very last. And pull through the last 2 loops. If you pull this tail a little bit and hold here, this this little hole will close. Turn our work. Remember to always turn on the same side, so always turn on this side or always turn on this side, but I advise you to turn on this side, because as you can see the yarn is in the back where we want it. If you turn on this side when you finish, you are gonna have, see, the yarn is right in the front here, see? So when you finish, turn towards the left and the yarn is gonna be always on the back. So for round 2, let's chain 3, so 1, 2 and 3, and let's put a stitch marker in the last chain, yarn over, and let's make 1 double here into this first space. So just go into the space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and we made space and a double. Now we are going to repeat again, chain 1, 1 double into the space, chain 1, 1 double into the space, chain 1, 1 double into the space, and so on until we get to the end on this side. Chain 1, yarn over, let's make a double into the next space. Into the next space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, chain 1, yarn over into the next space, chain 1, yarn over into the next space, and continue like this, and I will meet you back just before the end here. Don't get confused when you see that a stitch is attached, see, to this square, then you work into the following. And if you look at your stitches, if you have 2 stitches into the same space, you will notice immediately if you look at your work. And you can just unravel by pulling, see, leave a loop. For example, here I made the stitch, so it is the head of the stitch right here, and then I made 1 chain. See, there is no body in the chain, just the top. So I need to make another double. Yarn over into the next space, chain 1, and so on. So I'm almost at the end here. I'm going to chain 1, work in this last space, chain 1, and now that we have the 2 stitch markers, we are going to do 1 double into each chain. So remove the first, yarn over, go right under into the chain with the top loops on the hook, and the back bump is behind the hook right here. So with the 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Do not chain, remove the second stitch marker, yarn over, and work the other double right into the other chain. The 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now turn where we had the 2 stitch markers on the 4 chains. We will always do 4 chains, so again 1, 2, 3, and 4. Put the stitch markers in the last 2 chains, so 1 and the second one, always under the 2 front loops. And to put your hook back, yarn over, and now we are going to do a double. Sorry, this is row 3. We are going to do a double here into the first space, because we have the 2 double crochet that we did on the chain. So the 2 doubles and then the space. So yarn over, get into the space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Chain 1, yarn over. We are going to do the same thing again, work 1 double into each space. Chain 1, yarn over into the space, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Chain 1, yarn over into the space. Continue like this, and I will meet you back when I get almost at the end. So I'm almost at the end here. I'm going to work into the last spaces. Work into the last large space. Chain 1, yarn over, and now remove the stitch marker and just do 1 double inside this chain. Always go under the 2 front loops, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now turn row 4. So on this side, with only 1 stitch marker, we do 3 chains. On the other side, with the 2 stitch markers, we do 4 chains. So on this side, we do 3, 1, 2, and 3, and put the stitch marker back into the last chain. Okay. And now for row 4, we just repeat row 2 and row 3. Every time we get to this side, we work into the last space, and then we have the stitch markers, so we do 2 doubles into the 2 chains. We turn, we do again 4 chains and put the stitch markers back into the last 2 chains and work 1 double into each space until you get to the other side where you have the stitch marker. You work down to the last space and then you do 1 double into this stitch marker, and then you turn and do chain 3, put the stitch marker back, and your stitch repeat is 1 double, chain 1, yarn over from here in the very first space, do a double, now chain 1, yarn over into the next space, and continue like this to work 1 double into each space. Now we are working on the back side. All the even numbers, when we work the even rows, we are working the back side of the panel. When we work the odd numbers, so 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, etc., we are on the front of the fabric. When you are on the front, your initial tail, it's always on the left. When we work the back, like now, for this row 4, the tail is on the right side, so you know that you are on the back side of the fabric. In fact, here I have, this is the back side, and you can see all the tails that I worked into the back of the stitches, and this is the front side with no visible threads. Work repeating row 2 and 3 until you get to row 12. Then at row 13 we will change the color. It's super easy to count the rows on this type, with this type of stitch, because you count each body, each post of the stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Sorry, work then 13 with the gray color. If you want to make it all with one color, then you can skip ahead to row 29, where we will start the right handle. For everyone else, I'll meet you back at row 12, and we will change the colors. And as you can see on this side with the two stitch markers, we have one large space and two doubles, one large space and two doubles. Now by working in here, I will create another large space, and then when we come back from the other row, we will work another two doubles, and then a large space and two doubles. On this side, we have the chain here acts as another double. So like we have a chain and a stitch, so two stitches. We have two stitches at the end here as well, and then a space and a space we have here too. So I'm almost at the end here of row 13. I'm gonna do my last doubles. Chain one, I'm getting to the last space, chain one, yarn over, and let's work now a double into the chain as we have done previously on this side. Yarn over, pull up a loop, and now yarn over, pull through two loops and stop here. If you want to change color, you don't finish the stitch, you get your new color and you just pull this color through to finish the stitch there. Now you can cut the gray yarn, so just about that. And now before we start, just do a tiny knot with the two tails, the pink and the gray one. Just knot them together. So just knot once again, because this knot will be hidden on the inside of the bag. So no one is going to see it, and we actually want a secure fabric. Now from here just turn, and let's do now one row with the pink yarn. Remember, the tail is now on the right side, so we are on the back, we are working on the back of the fabric, and so we are going to hide the tail right behind here, and we can also hide the gray one by working them together into the stitches. So for round 14, let's chain 3 as always, 1, 2 and 3. Put the stitch marker in the last third chain, under the two front loops, yarn over, and let's do a double in the first space like always. Now get the tails, put them right here in front of your work, yarn over, go into the first space. We have the two tails on top of the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Chain 1, yarn over. Let's get into the second space. The two tails are always on top of the hook. They are not under, but they are over the hook. And chain 1. No one is gonna see these tails popping through, because as I said, this is the back side. No one will be seeing anything on the front side. And just continue. So get into the space, the tails are on top of the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, chain 1. Now so the tails will not pull. See how the stitches here are all scrunched up? Just pull your fabric, see? And you can see now all the spaces as normal. Move the tails on the back here of the hook, so they don't stay exactly on the top or very close to the top of the stitches. I'm holding them, as you can see, and chain one. And this is gonna be the last stitch where we carry both yarns, the pink and the gray. So continue like this, the same stitch as we have done up to now, one double in each space and a chain one until you get almost at the end. Okay, so I'm almost at the end. Again, I'm going to work the last double into the space here. So yarn over, pull through 2, chain 1, yarn over. Let's remove these 2 stitch markers and let's make 2 doubles, 1 in each chain. So get into the chain, the 2 loops, the top of the stitch always on the top of your hook, both loops. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. No chain, yarn over again, remove the second stitch marker, get into the chain, 2 loops at the front, 1 loop at the back, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, you stop here, get the new yarn color, and let's do the same we did on the other side. Do your last yarn over with the new color. You don't need huge long tails, and just pull it through with the new color. Tighten the stitch a little bit. So let's cut the pink one, and we can make a knot with the 2 short tails. And 2, turn your work. Let's chain 4. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. Put the 2 stitch marker into the last 2 chains. So 1 and 2 under both loops. Now this is the front of our fabric. Remember, the tail is on the left side, this is the front. So we don't want any tails to show up on the front side. We're going to put them on the back side. And we work them with our stitches as we did for the back side, in the same way. But we keep the tails on the back instead than on the front. So yarn over. As usual, we have the 2 double crochet and the space. So get into the space, tails on top of the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And just push them down, and nothing will be visible on the front side. Chain 1, yarn over, second space, tails always on top of your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, chain 1, yarn over, the tails are still here on the back, next hole, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 and chain 1. And you can continue to do rows back and forward for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. 6 rows of the same yellow color. So we always want the tails to stay on the back of the fabric. So continue like this for 6 rows, all of the same color. I'll meet you back when I'll do these 6 rows, and then we will switch back to the gray color. I'm almost at the end. I've done my 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 rows of yellow. Now I'm going to do the 2 double crochet in the chain, go under the 2 loops, yarn over, remove the other stitch marker, do the other double, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and we are going to change back to the gray. So take the color that you are using, put it onto your hook, just the last pull through, you do it with the new color. Now we make, I have a tiny tail, so I'm going to pull a bit more, and I'm going to make a knot with the gray tail and the yellow tail. 1 and 2. So I'm going to do now 1 row with the gray, then we will switch to gray again, then dark pink, gray, light pink. So now we are going to do another row of gray. Turn. So for row 21 we are going to chain 4 as we have always done up to now. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Put the stitch markers. Now we are on the front side. Also we already have the yarn on the back, so it's easy to recognize now the back. So yarn over, let's get these tails on the back, get into the first space just after the 2 doubles. So both tails on your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, push them down on the back, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, chain 1, yarn over, and let's repeat the same stitch as we have done throughout the panel. Continue this way until we get to the end, and we will switch colors again. So I'm almost at the end of the row. I'm gonna do double here, chain 1, yarn over, and do a double into the chain. Start the double, so pull through 2, stop here. Now I'm going to add the dark pink, so get the new color and put it on your hook, close, and just pull through the stitch. Now I'm going to cut the gray, my previous color. I'm going to pull a bit pink so I have a little longer of a tail, and I'll make a knot and 2. So turn, row 22, let's chain 3, and you might ask, why do we have to chain 3 and not start with a double crochet? Because, and I'll show you, if from here I yarn over and make a double, let's say into this space. So I yarn over, I go into the space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. The stitch is completely squished. It's more kind of a knot than a stitch like all the others, like this one. And this is why we need something to bring us up one level. If you are in a house with 2 floors or a hotel with many floors and you go to the second floor, you need something to bring you up one level, either the stairs or the lift or a rope with a hook from the outside, but you need something to bring you one level up. In the same way, we need chains. Now, just so you know, you can also do a starting double crochet instead of the chains, but because this will be hidden, we will do it the classical way with chains. But just so you know, there are other ways of starting a row. So chain 3, let's mark the last chain. Now put the tails in front here, because we are on the back of our work, and keep the tails on this side. So yarn over, tails on the hook, go inside the first space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, chain 1, yarn over. Let's work in the second space, push the tails down, and chain 1, yarn over. Let's work in the next space, so continue like this until you get to the end. You switch to gray, do 2 rows of gray, then 1 row of dark green, 1 gray, then 1 light pink, and 1 last row of gray. And then I will meet you back and we will start the right angle. So I'm reaching the end of row 28, the last row for the body of the bag. I'm going to make my last 2 doubles. And now let's turn. We are back to the front side of our work. We are now on row 29. As usual, chain 4 and mark the last 2 chains. Yarn over, just as we have done before. Let's work into the first available space after the 2 doubles. Make a double, chain 1, and continue until you have a total of 15 double crochet worked. And I will meet you back when I get here at my 14th. So I'm making my 15th double, chain 1, and now we work 2 double crochet together. So we will work 1 here and 1 here, but finish as 1 stitch. So get into the available space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and stop here. Now don't mind these loops, we are going to make another double in here. So yarn over for a double, get into the space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Now we can finish both stitches at the same time. So yarn over and pull through all the loops. We work the 2 stitches into 1. We have 2 bodies of the stitch, 1 and 2, but only one head of the stitch. 2 bodies, 1 head. And now you can turn, chain 2, don't make these chains too tight, 1 and 2, yarn over, skip this first space, this one, and work in the next one and do a double crochet. Chain 1 and in the next space continue like this, 1 double chain 1, 1 double chain 1 into each space until you get to the end here, and I will meet you back at the end. So I'm at my last space here, and as we did previously, let's do 2 doubles into these 2 chains. So 1 and 2, turn again, chain 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and mark the last 2 chains. Yarn over, you have the 2 doubles as always, and then a space, so work into the next available space with your double and chain 1, and just continue until you get at the end here, and I will meet you back when I get there too. So I'm almost at the end of the row here, and I now have 1 full space, this one, and this little space. This is where we will do our last double crochet. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 and pull through 2. From here, turn, let's chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and mark the 3rd chain. And now we go as we did for the main body of the bag, back and forward, putting 2 doubles into the 2 marked chains and 1 double on the other side, and you need to do this until you get to row 45. So another 14 rows back and forward, and then I will meet you back to finish the first handle, the right handle. So I'm at the end here of row 45. I'm going to do my last double crochet into the space and 1 last double crochet into the chain of the chain 3. Do a double, chain 1, you can cut your yarn and pull all the way, and just tighten here, and your bag, the base and 1 handle, it's made. With the front of the bag in front of you, we are going to attach the yarn again to create the 2nd handle. From where we did the 2 stitches together, right here, first stitch is attached to this space. So from this space count 9 double crochet. So I have the space here, count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we need, get your hook and put it right inside the space. And now from here we attach the yarn, and we will work the other handle back and forward. So let's make a slip knot with the yarn behind. You can pull it and then pull both tails. Put it on your hook. And you can pull the yarn through. So from here we are going to chain 2, 1 and 2 yarn over, and we are going to work one double in the following space. So get in there, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, chain 1, yarn over, a double in the next space, and do the same stitch, one double and a chain 1 until you get to the end of this row. And this is gonna be row 1 of the left handle. So I'll meet you back when I'll get almost at the end. I have here my last space as usual, and then we will work one double in the chain 3 space in the first chain. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, turn, do a chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, mark the last chain and work in the same way until you get here, and I will meet you back just before I will finish. So I'm at the end of the row here. I have 2 spaces left and then the 2 stitches worked together. So I'm going to start a double into this space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 and stop here. Now we make another double by going into this space. So yarn over, get into the space, the last space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and now yarn over and pull through the 3 loops on the hook to finish the stitch. Now turn. For round 3 we are going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Let's mark the first 2 and let's do what we have done up to now, one double and a chain, one double and a chain, until we get to this side. When you get to this end, you work into the stitch marker, and then on the other side you do 3 chains. On this side you make 4 chains and work in the last 2. You should have a total of 17 rows. So we have done already 2, you have another 15 to make, so that it will be the same as the handle on this side. I'll meet you back when I'll get at the end of the handle. Let's say that you get at the end of one row and you don't have your stitch markers, you have forgotten to put them on. Now if you have the stitch marker on the other side and you only have one, then you know that on this side we do the chain 4 and we should do 2 double crochet into the first 2 chains. If you have forgotten the stitch marker on this side too, then just look at your work and you will see that on this side we have the 2 double worked into the chain below, and then a space, 2 double, a space, 2 double, a space, and now we need to make 2 doubles. So this surely is the side where we have the chain 4. So I am at the end of row 17. I'm going to do my last double into the space, and then 1 double into this chain. Chain 1, cut your yarn and just pull the loop through and tighten, hold here and pull, and the second handle is done. Now I want to show you something else. When I say look at your work, look at your work while you do it. Now I didn't fix this because I wanted to show you, but when you look at your work, if there is any mistake, you can clearly see it. You might not know what's wrong, but you can see that something is off, something is wrong. With crochet, that's one of the beauties of crochet. Never be afraid to try whatever project you want to try. The worst that could happen is that you make a mistake, and luckily with crochet you just pull the yarn and you unravel to go back and fix your mistakes. So surely there is something wrong from here onwards, so I'm going to unravel down to here. Never be afraid. Your work is a little bit wonky, or you don't like a stitch that you have just made. Unravel and try again. Now I am on the other side. So unravel, get to a point where you have a loop. So here we made a stitch, a double, and then we have a chain one. Can you see? We have one stitch with a body, and then we have one stitch which is the chain with no body. It's just the chain. So you can put your hook back here, for example, and continue. If your yarn finishes and you need to attach more yarn, the best way to attach a fiber like cotton or bamboo is by making a magic knot. What you do is you take the end attached to your work and put it like that. You take the end attached to the new ball of yarn and you put it like this, just under. Now we need to make a knot with this end. We will make a knot here, and with this end we will make a knot here. So let's start with this one, just as they are. Sorry, I'm gonna make them a little bit longer. So just as they are, get this tail and put it under. Now don't mind this tail, just look at this loop and make a knot. So you put it here and then just put it under. And now pull this tail and this, and we are making a knot. Now we make a knot with this other side. So do the same. Put the tail over. Don't mind this back tail, but just look at the loop here and make a knot. Hold here and pull, and now we have two knots. You can pull both ends and the knots will get very close, one after the other. You can pull to make the knots even tighter and a bit smaller. Pull, this is super strong. And now you can cut very close to the knot, and the knot will never come undone. So just cut very close. Now you want to hide this knot on the back side of the work where you have all the tails, if possible. So let's see where is going to end up with it. And here is the knot now. Two. Okay, I was lucky and it ended up right at the back. But if it happens that your knot ends up right at the front of the stitch, you unravel and make the stitch either looser or tighter until the knot ends up either at the top or behind. And we are reaching. Oh, see, it moved and is showing up at the front, and I don't want that. So I'm going to work the stitch tighter, even this one, and see where it ends up. And one chain. Oh no, I'm not gonna work any stitches into this space, so no, it's not okay there. Let's make them larger. Okay, and now is at the back of the stitch, and we finally have one part of the bag made. You need to make another one in the exact same way. You can cut now whatever tails are showing up at the back of your work. We need to weave in this tail, which is where we started the left handle, because this is the back side. And I forgot to work these ends into the stitches. So what I'm going to do is I'll just enter them with a needle. And you can weave them in just under this fit of the stitch. I think that's enough. Make sure that the threads are not showing up on the front, and you can cut the ends that are coming out. Pull a little bit, cut, and then pull back your fabric. I'm going to cut these two. And we need to weave in this tail, and this tail. So get a yarn needle. I won't be using this one because the head is way too thick. It's way too large. So this is the back. The tail on this side is fine. We can start to weave it in. You want to go inside the stitches, and then I'll go on to the other, and then on to the other, and I'm going to pull, just pulling the thread that is inside. So I'm going to turn. So I'm coming out of here, just under these two. I'm going to go just under one of the two and go back. We are going to put a border here, so this will be kept up by the single crochet of the border. I'm going to go under only one, and then I'm gonna go under the stitch again, and under the other stitch, and that's it. And I'm going to pull, and I'm going to cut, pull a little bit and cut, and then where is it? There. And then when we do the single, we can push this thread into the single crochet. Do the same thing with this tail. There is no set place to weave in your stitches. You just go where you want, where you feel it's best. And then weave in the other, and also weave in your bottom tail. I'm going to put a stitch marker on the front side so that I know that this is the front, and the panel is truly finished now. So you need to make another one in the same way, and then we will do the border. After you enter your tails, make sure that you pull your work back with the shape that it had before. Don't leave it all scrunched up like this. Mark the front in both panels so we don't get confused. Put your panel on the front side, rotate it like this. We are going to start on this handle, go down, work straight, and then go all the way up. Very easy. We are going to make 2 single crochet for each row. So each row is where we made the double or the chain here. This is one row, another row, another row. So we do 2 single crochet in each space. It's super easy because we already have all the spaces here. So we go into the space and make 2 single in each space all the way until we get to the end. Let's make a slip knot. Pull, and we have a slip knot. Get right into the first space, get your slip knot, put it in, tighten it by pulling the short tail, get your yarn ready, pull this loop through, and then make a chain. And now we are attached to this side of the work. Now into this same space here, go inside of this space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops, and we've made the first single crochet. Now into this same space, let's make another single crochet. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops, 2 single. In the next space, another 2 single. In this next space, let's make another 2 single. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops, another one, 2 single in each space, 1 and 2. In the next space, 1 and 2. In the next space, 1 and 2. In the next one, 1 and 2. Continue like this until you get down here, and we will do the corner together. Okay, so I have the last one here straight. I'm gonna make 2, 1 and 2. And then we have 2 rows here that go like that. One is this and the other one is this. We are going to do the same thing, 2 and 2, 2 single in each. So don't make it here, but make it right in this corner, and make 2 single. So 1 and 2. Now we have the other. It's very tight, get in there, see? Right inside of here. And do 2, 1 and 2. Now it's all straight, and we do 2 as well in each square. The next one is this row, 1 and 2. In the next one, 2, 1 and 2. In each one of these we make 2 as well, 1 and 2. So I have my last single to do in this straight box. Now, like we did on the other side, we do 2 inside here and 2 inside here for this row, and then we continue with 2 in each box. So let's make 2 here, 1 and 2. Now another 2 in this slope, 1 and 2, and now it's all straight. So 2, 1 and 2. Between the 2 doubles you go in the middle there and do 2 as well, 1 and 2, and just continue until you get to the end, 1 and 2. So I have my last 2 spaces in between the 2 doubles. I'm gonna make 2, 1 and 2, and then in the very last row you make 2, 1 and 2, and we have completed the border on the front side. Here, as usual, just chain 1, cut your yarn and pull the tail all the way through and tighten. Weave the tail on the back. You can do it even behind here, inside all of these stitches, this single crochet. Just go under the legs of the single crochet, inside right in the middle of the legs. And now the fun part will begin. We are going to sew the 2 panels together. Now we are going to put the 2 front sides one against the other. So this is one front side, get the other front and put it right on top of the other, like that. So we now have the back side right in front of us, and we are going to sew now this side, 1 and 2. Turn your bag on one side. We are going to sew right up to row 28, which is the last full row that we made before starting the handle. So row 28 is just after the pink, so this gray row. You can just follow here from the middle, this row, or you can count all the bodies of the stitches, all the posts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, etc. You will get to row 28. And let's do the same with the back. So this is row 28, just after the pink color, and put them together with a stitch marker. If you don't have a stitch marker, you can use a clip or an air clip or what you have. So let's do the same on this side. Row 28 is the gray one. Just follow the middle one. Right here. And I'm going to mark the same, the gray one, on this other panel. We are going to work into the first space at the corner, so right here, and then we are going to have the 2, either the chain and the double, and on the other side, on the other panel, you are going to have the two doubles. So we have one large space, two doubles, one large space, two doubles, and the same is here, one large space and the two doubles, which are the chain and the double. So when we work into the large space, you just get into the same space and you work the stitch. When you have the two doubles, you get right in the middle between the two doubles. So here, and do the same on the back. You go right in the middle between the two. So get your hook, put it inside the first space, get your slip knot, put it on your hook, just get it through, yarn over, and do a slip stitch. Now from here, do 2 single in each space. So let's start and do 2 single into this space. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through. And we are going to take this tail with us. So just put it on your work. And now let's do the second. Go inside the space. The tail is over your hook. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through. And we made 2 single. Now let's get into the second space. So right in the middle of the 2 stitches, and do the same on the back side, right in the middle here, and then we have a large space. Tail on top, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the 2 loops, and then again in that same space, another single. The tail is over here. Now we go into the large space and we do 2 single, 1 and 2. Again in the next space between the 2 stitches, tail on top, 1 and 2. Again a large space. Let's get the tail on top. So 1 and 2. Between the 2 stitches, 2 single, 1 and 2. And continue until you get to the marker. 2 single crochet into each space. And make sure that you are crocheting into the same rows on the front panel and on the back panel. And I'll meet you back just before we finish this part. So I'm close to row 28. I'm gonna do 2 here in the pink row, 1 and 2, and then I have the gray row 28, 1 and 2. Okay, so now leave 1 layer behind and we are going to continue with 2 single in each space to make a border on this side. So continue 2 single in here. I can see I cut here, actually 2. Yes, so 1 and 2, 2 in this space, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and continue until you get at the end, and I'll meet you back here. So I'm almost at the end here. I'm gonna make my second single and then 2 in this row, and then 2 in the very last row. 1, push it back and make another one very tight, chain 1 and pull your yarn through. And we have closed the one side, and we have the border done on one side of the handle. So now we are going to attach the yarn here and do the border on this side too. So let's make another slip knot. And on row 28, where we finished to stitch the 2 panels together, get your hook inside of that space, which is row 28. Here we have the 2 single crochet. Put your hook in, get your slip knot, put it on the hook and pull it through, and let's grab the yarn and let's do a slip stitch. So just go through here, pull, and now you can pull the tail on this side, and we can work the tail into the stitches. So just put it over the edge. So let's go in the next space and let's make 2 single, 1 and 2, 2 in the next space, which is in between the 2 stitches, tail on top of your hook. Let's make 2 single in the next space, 2 single in the next space, and 2. Continue, and I'll meet you at the end. So I have the last 2 rows. Don't get confused, every stitch that you see is a full row. So 1 and 2. And in that very last row, 2 stitches, 1 and 2, and then chain 1, cut your yarn and pull all the way through and pull the chain. And now we have the border done on each side. We have to do the same on this other side. So now we will close this side up to row 28 as we did on this side. So let's make another slip knot. And let's start by working 2 single on this first space on both layers. Pull through, move the tail, and let's make a slip stitch. And now let's pull this tail up so that we can work the tail into the stitches, And let's start into this first space. Let's make 2 single. Keep the tail on the top here. Let's make 1 again and 2. Now in the next space, the next behind, the tail on top of the hook, and let's make 2 single, 1 and 2. Again in the next space, 1 and 2. Don't make the single crochet too tight or your bag will pull. And 2, and just continue like we have done for this side, and I'll meet you back at row 27. So I'm almost at row 28. I'm going to remove the stitch marker. And 2, and now drop 1, the front one, and just continue with 2 stitches in the next space, 1 and 2, and then in the next space, and continue on this side as well until you get almost at the end, and I'll meet you there. Almost at the end here, 1 and 2, and the last 2, 1, 2, chain 1, and cut your yarn and pull all the way through. Now we do this other side, so let's make another slip knot. By now you are great at making slip knots. So get into that same row 28, get the slip knot onto your hook, pull it through, pull also the tail. Okay, go back, and let's make a slip stitch, and we can work the tail right into the stitches. So let's start with 2 stitches into each space and the tail on top of your hook. So 1 and 2, continue like this until you get to the end, and I'll meet you back here. The last 2 rows, and the last row, 1 and 2, chain 1, cut and pull all the way. Let's put the bag inside out. Now we want to weave in these 4 ends, and then we will fold it and make our plastic bag shape, and then we will sew here and these 2 handles. So let's weave in all the ends. You can go right into the stitches here. These tails are very easy. Get your needle and just go right in the middle of these of the back of this single crochet. Okay, now pull back and you can cut and do the same for each tail. Tails are weaved in. I'm going to remove these stitch markers from the front sides. We won't need them anymore. And now we are going to sew it so that we will give the shape of the plastic bag from here. You want to fold just like this, fold and just fold over. Do the same on this side, just and fold it over. Now make sure that the top layers are all of the same size, so corner with corner, and the same for these two. So 1, 2, 3 and 4 layers like this. You can put a stitch marker right at the corner of each one. 1, 2, 3 and 4, and we need to do the same for the other side. 1 at the corner, 2, 3 and 4. And now let's make sure that at the end it's also well folded. So now that we have it folded with half of the handle on top of the other, and this is our front, the outside fabric, this is the inside. We are going to count 7 spaces, 7 for each layer. 7 down here for all the layers and 7 here for all the layers. So just count 7 and let's put a stitch marker to keep all the layers together. So 1, count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. This is gonna be the last space that we see of this front handle. Now we want 7 spaces on the back too. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Now we do the same, mark this 7th space on both layers. Now we want to count 7 spaces on this handle too, on both layers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So this is gonna be my last space. 7 on the front, and then we have 2, 4, 6 and 7 at the back too. Now we can put these together and put the stitch marker through all 4 layers at the 7th space, right at the corner. Do the same for the other handle, count 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Make sure you have 7 behind as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. And then the same thing for the back. 1, 2, I'm going through both layers with the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and this is where we will do our stitches, right in the middle of all these spaces, going through all 4 layers. Do the same for the end here, count 7 on all 4 layers. From the stitch marker we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Behind we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 where the stitch marker is, and then we want 7 on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and 7 on the last layer too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Do the same for the other side and hold all the layers with a stitch marker. Now make a slip knot. And now remove the hook from the slip knot. Move your bag on this side. Get your hook inside the last space in both layers. Put the slip knot on your hook. Hold your yarn. You can remove now the stitch marker. And now just pull the yarn through. Move the tail, let it fall behind, and just do a slip stitch. So just pull through the loop that you have on your hook there. Now make 1 single crochet into the same space, going through all the 4 layers. Yarn over, pull up a loop, move on the side, yarn over and pull through 2. Now you can move back a little bit. We are right at the corner. Go inside that space, pull up a loop and pull through 2. Now in the next space you want to go through all the layers into the same space. Yarn over, pull up a loop, pull it a little bit because we have 4 layers. Can you see? Pull it and then yarn over and pull through both stitches. Now let's make 2 single crochet into each space. Just like this. Now go into the next space for all layers. Yarn over, pull up a loop, pull a little bit, yarn over, pull through both loops. Let's make another one, and the second time it's easier to go through all the layers. When you do the second single crochet, 1 and 2, now into the new space. On each layer. Yarn over, pull up a loop, and then yarn over, pull through 2. Again into that same space, 2 single. If you should make a mistake, just unravel. If you enter in the wrong space, just unravel. Where you see you have made, there I have, okay, there I've made this last 2 single, so I'll make 2 now in the next space. So don't be afraid, you can just unravel and do it again. So the next space, pull the loop a little bit so it will sit almost right in the middle here of the top, instead of sitting way too at the front or way too at the back. We have the last 3 spaces that we should have in all layers, 3 and 3. So let's go in 1 and 2, in the next space 1 and 2, and in the last space let's make the first 2, so 1 and 2. Let's move a tiny bit, and let's make a third one and a fourth, just by moving a little bit your handle. Now that you have done these 4 single, now turn. Now we are going to go actually into the top of the stitches that you can see here. This is the single crochet that we did at the border. So we want to go through 1, 2, 3 and 4. This might be a bit tight if you work them too tight, but enter a needle and try to enlarge them a little bit. Get your working loop on the hook. Now go under this first stitch, and then let's go under this second one. See, we always have the V, the top of the stitch, on our hook, both loops. Here is one stitch, both loops. Here is the other stitch, and this is always on the hook. It's our working loop. Now let's go into the other stitch here behind, with the top of the previous stitch on the top here, and the last one. And now yarn over and pull through all of these layers. Pull a little bit, yarn over and pull through both loops. Now the corners are closed too, and the corners here are closed as well. And make a chain 1, cut the yarn, don't make it too short. We actually wanted to weave in a little bit of this tail so that it is 100% secure, and pull all the way through. There is a tiny wave here, but it's okay if you squish it. And the first handle is attached. Now let's do the other side. I should have brought the tail with me, but I forgot it. So if you actually remember, just work your tail into the stitches. If you don't remember, just weave it in at the end, as I will do. So let's make a slip knot. And remove your hook from the slip knot, and let's do what we did here. We are going to start by going under the last stitch that we made of the U border. Each border has the single crochet stitches, which you can see as these V's on this layer. This is the back, and you can see the V's right here. So we are going to go right under the last V that you see here. We do the same on the second layer. Here the last stitch on the third layer, always under both loops, and on the fourth and last layer, and we go right under the last stitch under both layers. Now take your slip knot, put it on your hook, pull the yarn through all these 4 layers, the 4 single, pull so the tail comes out. And now let's make a slip stitch. Yarn over and just pull through the loop here. Now we are going to go back into this stitch through all the 4 layers, and we are going to make 1 single crochet. So once again, go under that first stitch on the first layer. On the second layer you have the yarn that is already coming through, as you can see, through the third layer in that last stitch, and into the last stitch through the 4th layer, which is right here. So yarn over again, yarn over and pull up a loop, and now yarn over and pull through 2, and we made our first single crochet. Now get the tail and put it right inside and out here from the middle. So try to keep the handle like this instead of like this. Now going through this first space, going through all the 4 layers, 1, 2, 3 and 4. You want the tail on top here. Now yarn over, try to keep this yarn on this side, yarn over, pull through, and now yarn over and pull through 2, and we made a second single. Let's make another one, go inside that same space, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. One more, the last single into this first space, yarn over and pull through 2. Now we're going to go into the second space through all the layers. One second, I'm going to remove this. So through all the layers, tail on top, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Once again into that same space we are going to make 2 single into each space, yarn over, pull through 2. Now let's go into the next space. Let's make 2 single, 1 and 2, the tail on top here, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Let's make the second one, in the next space 2 single, 1 single and another one, and pull through 2. Let's go into the next space, the third from the left, 1 single and another one, into the next space here, the second, and right here, and then we will have 1 left, 1 space left. So let's do 2 single here, 1 and 2 in the very last space. So in 1 and 2, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then again. Let's make another single right here in the corner, 1, and let's make another 1 and 2, chain 1 and pull all the way through. You should obviously cut your yarn and pull through. And the second handle is closed too, and the top handles are attached. Now we do the bottom all at once, then we weave the ends in and we are done. So get your yarn and let's make the last slip knot of the tutorial. Let's make a slip knot, and now you want to turn your bag all the way like this. Put the slip knot on your hook and let's do a slip stitch. Push the hook through the space, move your tail in front, and now let's do a slip stitch. Just go through the loop, move it on the side, and now put the tail right on top, go inside of the corner spaces, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through the 2 loops on the hook. And now go inside of the space, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through both loops. Let's do another one in that same space and pull through. Now do 2 single crochet in each space, going through all the 4 layers with your tail always on the top here. You pull up a loop and then yarn over and pull through both loops for a single crochet. Let's do another one in that same space. We make 2 in each space, 1 and 2 in the next space, 1 and 2 in the next space, which is our last on this side. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now again, now let's put another single into this last space, and you can continue now with 2 singles in each space. For now it's only both layers, and then we will go back to 4 layers in the next 2 spaces, both layers. Do 2 single, 1 and 2. So 2 single into each space, 1 and 2, and we're getting close, 1 and 2 to the other 4 layers, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm gonna make another one, and then I should be 1 and 2, only 2 layers. And now I should be ready to do all 4 layers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, correct. And then here we should also have 5, 6 and 7, and that's correct. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and it should be 7 as well. 5, 6 and 7. make my my second here of only the 2 layers. And now we go back to 4 layers. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. And so yarn over, pull up the loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Let's do again another single. Now let's go in the next one. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And do 2 single in each space. In this space just before the very last. 1 and 2, and now in the last space at the very corner, and 2. Oops. Let's start to make 2. Let's make a third one. Okay, and then chain 1 and just pull the yarn. Cut your yarn obviously and then pull it all the way through. I just finished my full skein of gray. Now we just have to weave in these ends. You can put the tails right inside of the stitches, or you could also put them on the inside here on the bag. And I'll meet you back when I have them all weaved in. When you have the tails coming out right from the front, just enter your hook from the back and try to pull the tail inside on the back. And there you have it, guys. The crochet plastic bag shape shopping bag is ready, and it has the same shape as your plastic bag. And even if cotton is not elastic at all, the stitch it's super elastic, so this bag will really become 3 times the size that it's now if you fill it with very heavy stuff, but it's nice and small. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and maybe I will see you again in the next one. Bye!